All right, let's sort this out. Hello, dear Capricorn. This is Tarot Lumination, Love and Relationship Reports for June 2017. That's you right there, okay? So we're just going to get on with it. I'm still deep in the thick of it here. Please watch the, what do you call it, like the playlist, All Signs introduction video for this playlist, because it'll help you understand your reading a lot better, okay? And don't forget to read for your sun and moon and rising, because apparently that's how everybody does it. So I don't know, how am I supposed to argue with that? Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to spend hours babbling like I've been doing, okay? We're just going to get right into it. The cards are already pre-shuffled before we tape, but I like to keep going to the very last second so you have an authentically clear deck. Okay, dear Capricorn? You'll probably notice I'm hardly doing any astro babble at all. Pretty much nothing. We're just going to go bare bones, stripped down. A little crucible reading for you. Okay? You'll figure it out. All right? You've got it. You've done this before. Watch your sun, your moon, and your rising. All right? Here we go. I'm going to split it way, way, way up. Like that. All right? Now, here's how we're going to do this. This is you, okay? Kind of right now. This is the other, kind of right now. And this is going deeper into you, like what's going on inside. Could be for your benefit, could be for your undoing, could be enlightenment, could be something like out of the blue. And it's the same for the other, okay? And here's the status of the relationship itself, okay? Here is the crucible of the relationship itself. And this just represents the status. Okay, and here's where things seem to be evolving, moving, okay? Now, I know a lot of people like to see the weather, and so do I. So we're just going to have a look, okay? Underneath, oh, all the cards are upside down. I'm going to have to flip them. Let me just check something. Bear with me. Yep, they're all upside down. So I'm going to flip them because I don't do reversals, okay? My apologies. Okay, let's not get too excited. Oh, you probably saw the card. Ding. Spoil the excitement. Anyway, we're going to do it. Pretend, that this is a really, top of the line professional operation here. And we do things properly, just the way Capricorn likes things to be done, okay? So pretend we're just going to start all over again. Hi, Capricorn. This is your June 2017 love and relationship reading from Tarot Lumination. Here is you. Here's the other. Here we go. Bang. What's the weather? Bang. We got the lovers. Okay? This is deadly serious. I'm serious, Capricorn. This is serious stuff. And unlike I said earlier, I am going to mention a bit of astrobabble. You've probably noticed that the big fat T-square with Capricorn, Pluto right in the middle of it, might be still bringing up some very, let's say, transformational experiences in your sense of who you are, your identity and personality. And it might be leading you to a situation where you're attracting big, like, say, rip currents of weather. Not rip currents, but more like big, almost like rolling thunder type energy that it seems like it's out of your control. Like, what is happening to my life? Like, why does it keep going on in these like big wave cycles, a bit of this, a bit of that. And what this comes down to is like becoming crystallized and clearly aware that you are in a vortex of making and facing big decisions about what is actually happening in my love life, okay? So for some people, they think of this as the ultimate lover's card. Well, I don't personally. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of my spin. It feels to me like you're becoming profoundly aware of what actually happens when you strip it down to the bare bones of yourself and the other. And you come to this realization, holy shit, they're going to see everything. All my glorious wonders and all of my crap, all my dirty laundry, all my baggage, all my skeletons. Oh no. I only heard about that in movies, but I'm discovering it's true. And guess what? I'm discovering it's the same thing with my other, my hopeful other, my significant other, the one I just had, the one I just got. Not sure. This is a broad spectrum reading here. I'm not locking it down for anything in particular. Um, but in this regard, you become aware that you have to be very conscientious of the decisions that you make in relationship. Just the tiniest little decision can have big outcomes. The decision not to decide anything can have big outcomes. Making big decisions that you think are big decisions can have maybe only minimal outcomes. We don't know, but you're figuring it out and discovering it as you go along through June, okay? So it's very much like the power is in your hands here, even though it feels fated. That might sound very contradictory, but it's like a coming to terms with like what is manifesting in your life in such a way that, oh my God, I am a full-on participant in the manifestation of my love relationships. And I'm just about partly sick of it, but I'm also glad I'm becoming kind of aware of it. And because that's both energies are happening simultaneously. All right. So you might be like feeling like you're on a teeter-totter at the moment, like oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, that's all I'm feeling. Okay, so let's move on. What's going on with you? Okay, okay, so everything might feel kind of fated at the moment. Um, we just opened up with two major arcana in the first two cards, and this is probably one of the most epic, along with the lovers. And so, dear Capricorn, if you're feeling that perhaps fundamentally deep down inside of you, there might be some fundamentally important, significant relationship with another in which some aspect of that relationship has truly run its course, it is completed, it's done, it's gone, it is over forever. Okay? It doesn't mean you and the other are over forever. It's just part of your transformational journey, part of some characteristic or aspect of your relationship with this other person, whoever this may be. This may be somebody disembodied, somebody who's not there actually with you in physical form, but who's with you there deep in heart. And it's still a deeply profound relationship. And this realization that it has come to its completion may be either a good thing for you to feel or a kind of almost, I'm not going to say devastating, but oh, it's not shocking. It's just like a rare, very sort of simple, clear, profound awareness like, oh my God, they've gone. It is over. It's completed. We're done. It could also be like another way to look at it is we've lived out that journey, that part of ourselves, that part of each other. It is completed. It is done. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's just how it should have been. All the good stuff and all the bad stuff, all of that. And yes, you could say it is very fated. It's part of some very fated journey, like it feels like a journey type experience. And you are, or you were a very, very deeply meshed participant with the other. And now it's like they're not there anymore. Okay. And I'm not saying it's a bust up or a divorce or anything. It's just an element or an ingredient or a perception or an understanding or an awareness that something very, very profound in your deepest understanding of relationships is over. It is concluded. And guess what? It opens a doorway for a whole new beginning. So don't worry, okay? I'm not trying to scare you, all right? So what about the other? Let's have a look. What's going on with them? Okay. They might be dealing if because let's just say they are a participant in this epic journey of big decisions in which they are bonded or have been deeply bonded with you in the energy of relationship in one form or another. It might be in a very obvious physical way or it might be in a deeply spiritual way. Either way, they are in a position where they might still be dealing with a bit of an aftershock, so to speak, where they have had to, like, sort of what I would say, tap out and just tune into like the unconscious aspects of what's happening, instead of engaging directly, because it's almost, for them it feels like, well, yes, it is over, and I'm just pretending I'm the other person now, like, and it is over, and it was an epic journey, because look at this, we're now up to 3 majors in the reading, and we've only just started. So there was something profoundly epic and ordained about this relationship. Again, it might be an ongoing relationship in spirit or in physical, but some aspect of this relationship with this particular significant other is over. And this other person is now having to go through their own form of like scary kind of internal convulsions about what the bleep am I going to do now? It's like they're still probably very disoriented if they're honest with themselves, very deep down inside, and they're scared of what lies ahead because there was so much that was shared between the two of you. Look at this. I mean, it's just off the charts epic. All right. I'm just going to, I mean, it's, there you go. I'm trying to put it in the picture like this and like this so you can see it for yourselves. Do you see what's going on here? We've already started. We've barely started, and look what's happening. This is a very deeply fated relationship that has essentially lived its life, and both parties are now dealing with the consequence of the end of a relationship dynamic, okay? And it's, what do we do now? This might just be a simple, pure awakening for you, dear Capricorn, about the status of where we are. And for the other, it might be the opening into a whole new world in which there might be a sense of feeling confused and lost, because they may have had tremendous love vested in this relationship with you. And now that it is over, it means their life continues anyway, but it continues in a way that might have been unexpected or unplanned or undesired. Um, and so there might be an element of tragedy inside the other, and perhaps a sense of element of tragedy inside yourself, but it's almost and perhaps in some ways almost too tragic to even cry about it. You just have to, it's like staring at a mountain where you just look at it and you just say, well, that's, well, what it is. And yes, it's awesome, and its majesty and its beauty, and it's still there, but it's essentially, that journey is over. You've been there and done that, and they are moving on. Okay, they are moving on in their own way, even if they feel lost and discombobulated and not sure about what to do. This is almost like the energy of delayed shock for the other person. And you might not be feeling that in your own way. You might feel a little bit of if you sense it and pick it up from them, that might be understandable, but you might not be aware of what's happening in the other, because that's their own particular journey in your relationship. Remember, Capricorn, this is your reading for your relationship with the other. It's not a combined reading here. It's not their relationship with you. It's all about you relating to the other. So deep down, because of this, what's going on inside of you, dear Capricorn? Okay. Remember, I said no reversals, all right? So I flipped that one over. So dear Capricorn, look at this. We're coming into another epically, let's just say, ordained or fated or destined type of energy here, moving into June, where now that you're realizing it really, really, really is over, and you might have like brought this upon yourself, and it might be kind of shocking because you're now left essentially going completely blind into the unknown. You might think you've got everything that you need to move forward, and that you could almost kid yourself, well, I planned this. It was never supposed to be anyway. They were just piggybacking on me, or however you want to look at it. And I was always right. I know that I was right all the way through the whole journey. And you might be discovering, because this is like an epic ending, so to speak, here, you might be discovering that there's an awful lot that you might have learned here that you didn't even expect to learn. and you're still actually on the journey in the relationship with this person, but it might be in a whole new way of experience. You might be feeling this internally. And like, if you're a couple and you break up and you still have that energy of the other soul inside of you, or if you've lost someone who's very dear to you, and I'm talking seriously, if you've lost someone, and the relationship continues through yourself in heaven and their presence in your world as an angel, that's the same kind of thing we're talking about here. This relationship, it's almost like it exists in time. Regardless of June, the relationship is ongoing, but the worldly experience of the relationship is completed and it's over, and it's now leaving you in a position where you're literally on your own, kind of going blind. Now, part of this might be a sensation of relief, like, oh, hallelujah, freaking Luya, thank God it's over, because I felt like I had no control here, like maybe they were an abuser or you were an abuser, and things got out of control and it was epic and you learned a lot about each other. Or maybe it was just deliciously beautiful, but something tragic happened and it all became over, and there was this blinding realization in one of you or both of you that this had to come to an end. It truly had to come to an end, and you might have precipitated the own ending, and then realizing, like, what people do when it gets deadly serious, like, fuck you. Okay? I'm the one. I'm the dumper. You're the dumpy. Okay? I'm the dumper. You're the dumpy. And the other one says, excuse me, as far as I'm concerned, I was totally committed. And now, because I don't like the idea of being the dumpy, I am now going to slam it back to you and officially let you know that you are now being dumped. And I am the dumpy. I am the dumper, and you are the dumpy. And that doesn't sit very well with Capricorn, obviously. So it could leave you in this kind of like state of numb shock or awareness where it's just like, ha, I'm free. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, that's so cool. Like, oh no, oh God, oh shit, what the fuck am I going to do now? And then you go back and forth like that. Like, everything's going to be fine. Everything's just going to be fine. I am released. I am free. And then all of a sudden, like, you start to have a slow realization of how incredibly valuable this relationship was, and how incredibly ordained and beautiful it was, and that you might take a long time to understand the true value of what happened, and how much you might have lost, how much you might have gained. And it's just now a question of acceptance, and that can make you have a sense almost like vertigo. It's almost like literally like vertigo, because you have to go on, you are going to continue, no question about that, and you're going to really reconfigure yourself into a brand new, yet again transformed Capricorn, again referring to the Pluto in Capricorn dynamic that's happening right now. Okay, and all of this might have occurred in the context of someone who had the characteristics of being very nurturing, very emotional, very, very caring, with all the best of intentions, and you just didn't get it because you were focused on something else. And now it's all lost and it's all gone. And it's just like, that's the end of it. It's almost, to me, from this reading here, it's like tragic. It's kind of tragic, but also beautiful. Okay? Tragically beautiful. So what's going on with them? Because they are still in relationship with you, but in a new context. Look at this. Okay, statistically, this is freaky. Okay, freaky, 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 freaky. Okay, it's all major cards. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. I'm just gonna do it. Here, look. I'm gonna make it look pretty on camera. Watch. See? Look at that. Look at that. Started here. You, the other, you, the other, us. That's you and the other, okay? Like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? So, my feeling here, dear Capricorn, is that your other, they actually might be rejoicing in the sense of being released and gone and moving on. And they might have come in touch with a part of themselves that they never had known before as a result of this relationship. Again, in a very ordained manner. again, almost like destiny, where they have found love, true, true, true love in another person who matches their energy, so to speak, and it's not you. Okay? And so, in your own journey of relationship here, in this crucible of love, in which you have been sharing your energy with this other significant person in your life, even at the most deep spiritual level or in simple, like physical contact kind of level, whatever it is, this other person um, has actually like tapped in to their own. It's almost like they don't actually need you anymore. They've got all this. It's kind of like a relief. It's almost like scary relief. It's just like, like shock, like bam, the relationship is over, starting all over again. You're obviously starting over again and moving on with your new life. They are starting over again and moving on with a new life, and because it's liberating, it's freedom, and they might have just met someone who's absolutely perfectly just right for them in the way that you two could never have been. And that might just be how it is. They could have met someone. I don't, forget the gender issue. The Empress, yes, it's female, but this represents the energy of someone. Okay, remember, this is your reading, Capricorn, but it's almost like the other party, through your relationship with them, has allowed the other party to go grow and move on through some very like serious growing pains, scary, disorienting, uh, literally almost like psychologically disturbing growing pains of moving on and release and having to trust solely in the subconscious and the intuition in order to move on. And they're already realizing that they're seeing like the what do they call it? The rainbow, the uh, the silver lining to the fated aspect of the relationship, to the point where it's like blindingly clear to the other person now who and what they really want, who and what they really need, which is somebody that they consider to be the equivalent of themselves, someone very fertile, abundant, beautiful, radiant, caring, uh, fully in love with themselves. In other words, your significant other over here, in being released from this epic journey, allowing you to move on in your own way, great and awesome. They are moving on in their own way too, in a way that is very tangibly good for them, to the point where through all of this, your other has discovered like really like a really, really substantial representation of love in their life, like a reciprocal relationship of the most delicious kind that anybody could want, whether you're a guy or a girl watching this. Like, you just found the most awesome partner, okay? um, Almost as a consequence of this relationship. So that could be a really beautiful thing, okay? It could be a very specific person. You don't have to know this person. And it also could be, let's just expand it, give it a wider read for Capricorns, that this other person is truly starting to treasure themselves and love themselves in ways that never happened while they were in relationship with you. So in the context of the end of this epic relationship dynamic, it's actually very, very liberating for both of you. It just might be kind of tragic for you on your side because you don't get any of this anymore. Okay? But they at least get themselves out of it. So what's the status of the relationship itself between you and this other? Okay? Okay, it might be very, very pure, very, very innocent, very, very simple, in that there was a lot of naivety here on both sides, and just a question of admitting it. Okay? It's just literally, I believe that deep, 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 deep down, the both of you truly, truly, truly did love each other, and actually still do love each other at the spiritual level. And you have become profoundly aware of that here. And it became very, very evident in the decisions that you had to make about how to conduct yourselves from here onwards, on the understanding that, yes, you were divinely blessed and ordained to live through all of this together, and you did expose yourselves to the best and worst of each other, the truly beautiful side of you, dear Capricorn, and all your baggage, and the truly beautiful side of your other, dear Capricorn, and all their baggage. And you made a decision. You made a very, 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 very life critical decision that it's over. And the decision might feel like it's fated, but truly believe that you are the participant in your own destiny here. Now, the beauty of this little card right here is that you're off the hook. It's almost because there was so much innocence and so much good intention at the deep soul level. You can't blame each other for whatever happened, whatever shit happened or went down that didn't work. That's how I'm reading this. I'm just going to call it out like that, Capricorn. They can't blame you. You can't blame them, because both of you were very, very deeply committed in your hearts, in the purest intention of a loving relationship together. It's just that very likely both of you were very naive about certain dynamics and aspects of yourselves, not the other, but of yourselves. And through this amazing crucible type experience, you discovered in the most like epic manner who you really, really are and where you're really, really going. So it's actually in some ways very liberating. It's in some ways it feels kind of tragic to me, but it also feels kind of liberating. So where does this all lead you? Ha ha. Okay, like a release of the truth of like layers and layers of truth finally revealed. It's almost like literally liberation from the truth, because it might have been that this dynamic, this relationship, was saturated with lies and untruth and misperceptions and misunderstandings, even in the context of pure and pure innocence. And that's okay. We all make mistakes. We all do. But the beauty of this relationship dynamic here in this report is that to me, it feels extremely liberating. It might be that it's occurred in a very kind of shocking way that none of you could have ever wished or planned or expected. But either way, it was an epic journey, and you are coming out of it um, almost like rebooted, willing to charge ahead, determined never to screw up like that before or ever again, because it's unthinkable. But now you are also obliged, because you are no longer so innocent, that you have to live and conduct your life to a much higher standard of truth and integrity to yourself and to the others. In other words, whatever happened before, it's redundant, it's obsolete, it's gone, and that's it. And it's very, very liberating in the process for you, because this is your reading, and it's liberating enough where you feel like, wow, I can start all over again, and I'm going to do it uh, in my own truth, as honorably as I can to myself and any other significant others in my life, in my world, especially if there is a significant other. In other words, to me, it's almost like I promise to honor my word. I promise to be the true me. I promise to be uh, like a really genuine, authentic person. And I want to live in the truth, radiate the light in the truth. I have grown up now. I am matured. And I feel like there's no shame. There's like, if there was some like emotional turbulence about all this, um, just let it move through your body and allow for your innocence, and treat the whole thing as kind of an epic journey. And you come out the other side very, very liberated. It doesn't mean that you are maybe ever connect again in that kind of level. I don't know if this is like an epic marriage reading for you, or a boyfriend girlfriend thing, or a long-term spouse type relationship, or if this is something else. You can reinterpret that however you like. I'm just trying to call the story out as I'm feeling it. I know a lot of Capricorns have been dealing with some incredibly challenging dynamics. So you might be able to relate to this in the way that I'm kind of showing it to you now. So, dear Capricorn, move on, live your truth, but don't overdo it. Make sure you don't step on toes, and don't let anybody step on your toes. I feel an obligation, like you're under obligation now to conduct yourself to a much higher standard of integrity going forward in your future relationships. Because as beautiful and epic as this may have been, and you may have come out of it with a lot of new wealth and abundance and understanding, it was probably in some ways very, very crushing for you and very, very tragic. But it's still beautiful. Okay? So well done, Capricorn. Congratulations for living through yet another epic, like, tsunami wave of evolution. Okay? All the best in June. Read for your sun, moon, and rising, and please watch the general report introduction video for all signs. Okay? Thank you so much, Capricorn. Have a good June. Bye-bye.